Hello and welcome to the Intermittent Fasting Gems with Jen podcast. I'm your host, Jen, a middle-aged Michigan mama, wife, and teacher who in 2021 stumbled upon this crazy cool thing called intermittent fasting. And before I knew it, I'd lost 46 pounds in 4 months and gained an incredible lifestyle filled with complete food freedom. If you're hungry for unique, no-nonsense fasting tips that actually work, you're in the right place. So whether you're walking the dog, folding that last load of laundry, or cruising to your 9 to 5, let's start fasting our way to freedom together. Welcome, fasting friends. Today we are chatting with Jean, who lives in Slovenia, a European country, and I am so excited that Jean is with us today for a fun little chat about IF, and we get to listen and hear all about his intermittent fasting story and how Jean makes intermittent fasting work for him. How are you doing, Jean?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the introduction. It's perfect.
Yeah, before we kind of get into things, I am just curious, did you find me through the podcast or you were in the Facebook group or?
No, I actually found you through the podcast, right?
Podcast.
I was, almost like, to be completely honest, like I just wanted to share my story a bit, to share like what I do, because I've also read a bunch of other people, like what other people do, right? And I think that I found like my own thing, and just sharing it is I think it's super helpful when you hear someone else's, what they do, right? And sometimes you take something from it, sometimes, you just use and try something else. But yeah. And that's why I reach out to you. So,
well, I am very thankful that you did, because I do know that when, 4.5 years ago, when I was going through my intermittent fasting journey, the number one motivator for me were success stories of real people who had done it. And especially we don't get men a lot that want to tell their stories. So I can't thank you enough. So, all right, Jean, I'd like to start off by asking you, what have been your top 3 wins with intermittent fasting, whether that's weight loss or any non-scale victories like improved sleep, more energy? Go ahead.
Yeah, to be completely honest, like I've started my journey, I think 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago. And I just found this thing on the internet, like on some group or somewhere. I don't know, it was a forum or something, right? And I've noticed like, oh my God, like this is like one of the things beside many things that you can do for your health, right? That can be like useful. And I tried it out and I realized this is a great little tool, right? It's nothing special. It doesn't like, it can be very, you can choose and pick whatever parts work for you and what doesn't, right? And I just fell in love with it, right? And that was the first thing. So this is the first win, is that intermittent fasting for me, you can pick and choose what you want and what works for you, right? The second win for me definitely is because you can pick and choose, you can stick with this, right? For me, I think that if you do something, or if you want to do something well, and if you want to do something that is going to be impactful throughout your life, you have to kind of stick with it. And to be able to do that, you have to make it work, and then, do it, throughout the weeks and months.
Correct.
Consistently. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. And then like, if I'm being completely honest with the wins, like weight reduction, right? That helped. Like, I think I lost 3 kilos or 4 kilos. And
okay,
I gained a little bit of muscle.
I'm terrible at math, so can you convert that to pounds for us?
Let me do.
So you said, what did you say? How many kilos?
So 3 kilos, 3 to 5 kilos.
Okay.
But to be completely honest, like that's not a lot. Like it's not like a huge success story, right? But what it is, at least for me, or what it did, right, is allow me to look the way that I wanted, and that's all that kind of matters for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, because that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, and I at the risk of this sounding creepy, I'm going to be 50 next week, and you could be my child. But for everybody out there, they're listening, they're not seeing, but you're 26, right? absolutely
Yeah, that's correct.
adorable. You look like a surfer. You look like a surfer boy, actually. So,
Thanks.
like I said, don't take that creepy. I'm happily married for
Yeah, it's
25
fine,
years, but for those of you wondering, yes, absolutely adorable. So,
Thank you.
and yeah, if we can do the conversion another time, 3 to 5 kilos. But yes, you look fabulous, and I'm guessing you feel great too.
Yeah, that's also one of the parts. For me, like what I've noticed, I'm somebody who, like throughout my life, people always said to me, you have to eat breakfast. And I did. And that really doesn't work for me. Like I've noticed eating breakfast, it makes two things for me. It makes me hungrier sooner in the day. And it just like kind of ruins my, I don't know what it is, but
focus.
I just don't feel fine. Yeah, focus. Yeah.
I'm
exactly.
the same way. The focus, and I feel sluggish. It's like it slows me down. I'm more tired if I have breakfast. For sure.
Yeah, same here. So for me, like, you know, this was kind of going hand in hand, right? I've noticed, okay, if I stop eating breakfast, I can go and have lunch, and it's actually not as, how can I say this? I don't have to eat as much at lunch as well, because I guess my body gets like used to like eating less during the day, and then at lunch I just eat a smaller portion of the meal. And all of that combining with like not eating breakfast helps with so many things, like in terms of like I feel better, I'm more focused, I'm more alert. Like during the work, I don't feel like this need to kind of have like a breakfast and then before lunch a snack and then another snack and then lunch.
Absolutely.
And then yeah, this is for me just doesn't work. I just like simple life, simple things, you know.
I
lunch
totally
and
agree.
then yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that will move us transition well into my next question, which is, Jean, what is your main or your preferred intermittent fasting method or schedule that you typically follow? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I typically follow like this. I start eating at lunch, so at noon, right?
Noon,
this is my
okay.
first meal of the day. And then I try to finish by 6 p.m., right? And why is that? Is because, so I already said, I noticed that eating breakfast isn't really for me, so I skip that one out. And I try to finish my meals by 6 because I've noticed if I eat too late in the evening, right, I don't sleep that well. I have a tracker on my wrist, so I track my sleeps as well. And that also kind of helps. Yeah.
My husband has that, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Really well. And you can see like different data and so on. And I've noticed like my sleep, especially like the deep sleep and all of the other stages of the sleep, like they get sleep can get really ruined if you eat too late in the evening, right? And
Absolutely.
That's why I just have this like kind of like a block of eating, right? So I try to finish it by 6 p.m. and that's perfect for like a couple of hours before my bedtime. And it just works for me so well.
I think for such a big like chunk of the population, that 18-6 intermittent fasting schedule is just the sweet spot, you know, because you're still able to enjoy 2 meals, so you can get your lunch and a dinner. But like you said, you're finished plenty of time before bed. And also the biggest thing about that is, in my opinion, you're getting to that 18-hour fasting point, which really is where the real magic begins with the fat burning. So you are really tapping into those fat stores by that time, because I think sometimes it's kind of crazy. Like people will be fasting 16 or 16 and a half or maybe even 17 hours and they're not really seeing results. And then they just bump it up like an hour, and it's amazing the difference that they really can see with results with just making sure that they get to that kind of magical 18-hour mark. So, a noon to 6 schedule, that's perfect. So do you use a fasting tracker? I know you mentioned your watch for sleep, but anything on your phone or?
Yeah, I do. I did throughout, like, to be completely honest, I do use an app, of course, but like I've used multiple apps in the past 2 years, right? And I'm using iPhone, so I'm not an Android person, so I cannot really recommend for the other operating system.
Sure.
I've tried a bunch of them. I think I don't want to say any names, to be completely honest.
That's
because
okay.
I don't want to
no worries.
promote
You
something.
don't. You absolutely do not have to. I'm an iPhone user too. I asked that question, excuse me, only because when I started. And I started my Facebook group and everybody kind of jumped on board. We all loved the Life app and that was wonderful. And then unfortunately that was discontinued. And so sometimes I ask just because people are searching. Right now I'm using Easy Fast and it's a free app and I like it. But I have also, I've used Lightly. I've used different apps in the past. But I think the main thing is, that you do use a fasting app, and what are the main tools on that app that you kind of track?
Yeah. Why I didn't want to say it right away which app it is because as someone who creates software, right? I did write my own app. It's available for free.
You did? Oh,
yeah, I did.
Well, you know
but
what?
I think. Yeah.
Let's promote it. Let's do it. Hey, I'm all for it, John. Go ahead.
Look. I'm just gonna say it like this. I tried not a couple. I think I tried probably 5 to 10 apps in the past 2-3 years.
All right.
And I couldn't really stick with neither of them, and that's because one reason. All of the apps that I tried so far have this filling circle, or something is filling, or something is growing, right?
Okay.
And for me, okay, that makes sense, right? But the problem is, what I want to do is some kind of visualize the way that my fasting is going in terms of not just the current window, so not just the current eating window or the current fasting window,
sure.
but the whole timeline. So I can see what's coming up and what's been, right? And I couldn't find that on the App Store, to be completely honest, and I don't saw any kind of other apps doing this kind of timeline based approach. So I just decided to kind of build it up, and to be honest, it was harder than I first thought, because there's so many edge cases in terms of when you start a fast, what happens if you edit a fast and things like that. So yeah, it's a lot. I can just show you right now. I know that the listeners won't see it, but I'm currently in the eating window.
Is the app called Fast Slow? Is that correct?
Yeah, Fast Slow.
2 words. Fast Slow,
fast,
everybody.
Slow. Yeah, it's available. It's available in the App Store. And to be completely honest, all of the past fasts and eating windows are this kind of timeline based blobs, right? And you can see you can go scroll to the past, or you can go to the future and see what's coming and what's been, right? And of course, you can use any app. I don't really like to promote my own, but what I need in an app is, first it has to kind of show me, okay, fasting, eating, that kind of stuff, right? I can set my own preferred, this 18:6 or whatever, there are other modes as well, right? App has to have notifications, because without those, sometimes I get lost, to be completely honest.
Absolutely.
If you're currently in the market for a new fasting app, if it doesn't have kind of any notifications, and that's pretty much it. And I've noticed so many, and of course some statistics is also useful, right? You can see how much you're fasting and things like that.
Right.
That's also useful, right? But for me, this very simple, just a simple app that does one job really well, it's perfect. And what I've noticed, a lot of the apps currently have a bunch of different stuff added, right? They have some kind of, a coach or a weightlifting program built into them, or a food tracker, right?
Right.
And it's just a bloated thing, and I don't like that. And yeah, just I want the simple app, just do the thing, and that's pretty much it.
I really love that. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the whole intermittent fasting lifestyle, and the attraction to it is the simplicity of it. So everybody out there, it's Fast Slow, 2 words. I'm checking it out as soon as we get off of this interview. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Actually, there's a huge update coming to the app really soon. So yeah, maybe hold out a day or two to check it out.
All right, I will do that. All right, and I'll also, if you're okay with it, and send me the link, I will put that in the show notes for our listeners. So wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that, John. That was awesome. All right, let's talk about challenges. So you said you've been fasting for 3 or 4 years. What would you say is your biggest challenge with intermittent fasting, John? Go ahead.
I think, as I mentioned before, if you want something to be useful, or if you want something to be powerful, right? You have to do it consistently.
Absolutely.
And for me, like I can be consistent for weeks, right? And then like something happens or something like in my life changes or environment changes, right? And I kind of get off that train and I do things that, I start eating in the morning or I forgot, like I eat later in the evening, and then everything kind of falls down. And for me, what I've noticed right now is just that it's really important to come back, right? This is like a challenge that I've been, like I said, I mentioned like 3 to 5 or around 3 years that I started fasting.
Sure.
Like almost on a daily basis, right? But there has been like periods where I didn't do it for months, right? And it's not because like, I didn't know the benefits of it, or I didn't want the benefits. I mean, that's just crazy, right? But it's just like, life gets in the way, and it's sometimes it's hard to deal with those things, right? It's hard to go to do those things, to reignite your own like inner spirit or whatever, right? To start doing it again, right?
Absolutely. So, life changes. You're 26, so I think that has a lot to do with it too. Whatever phase of life you're in. You said you're a software engineer, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you work regular hours? Because I know sometimes that affects kind of your fasting regimen and things like that.
I currently do. I'm very thankful for that, right? But it's not just about that's part of it. I also do like a lot of different sports and I train for different things, right? So that also kind of has an effect to me, like on me. Especially like when I have I usually ride my bike quite a lot, like endurance riding. So it's like a longer 3-4 hour sessions. And during that time, I have to kind of fuel for those rides, right? And sometimes like if I have an early morning session or things like that, I do have to fuel beforehand, right? Because and that kind of sometimes complicates things. But I really try to keep it simple, right? And I do most of my working out in the afternoon, right? So I'm already fueled from the lunch that I eat, so that's fine. But
so I think you've made a good point, though. The consistency can be very difficult, and I hear that from a lot of people. But I did hear you say too that you've gone 3 or 4 months at a time without fasting, but guess what you did? You always came back to it. And so something that you mentioned before, it's a tool that you have, and you are young, and it is something that you can come back to, and it works, the benefits. And just to have that in your toolbox, then you do have that flexibility, because life does get in the way. And sometimes, maybe for illness or things like that, we have to kind of step away, take a break and things like that. But like I said, we can come back. So.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about your eating and your fasting windows. Let's talk about fasting first. So first of all, when you do fast, Jean, do you clean fast? Meaning sticking to, or do you dirty fast? You stick to black coffee. Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be honest. I am not eating during my fasting windows. So when I fast, I don't eat anything, right? The only thing that I have is like this black coffee, which is only allowed only allowed. Like it's usually a morning coffee, right? So that one is kind of starting the day. But then I the first meal, as I said, like no snacks, no anything. Like the first meal is lunch, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, some people, and I'm not the fasting police. I just know that clean fasting works best for me. And when people are struggling with the weight loss and I'm like, hey, are you clean fasting? And they're like, well, I'm putting a little stevia or a little creamer or a little nut milk in my coffee. Once they kind of knock that out, you really can tell the difference most times. But like I said, I do think the clean fast, if you're going to take the time to fast, having it be clean, sticking to black coffee, water, herbal tea. Do you drink any tea at all? Jean?
I do drink tea, but most of the time I drink water. So that's my primary thing I do. This is without this, I wouldn't be able to do it, honestly. Yeah. And to be completely honest, I think even without fasting, like I don't think that we drink enough water. So like wherever I have the chance, I just have like my flask with me and I drink it. It's like a liter, and then I mean it's like I don't know American units, but yeah, it's like a huge one, right?
It looks about I'm not very good at guessing that either.
It looks like a 32 Oz. Does that say something
that
to you?
looks about right. Yeah. 32 ounce.
Okay,
That's wonderful.
Okay.
All right. So
yeah.
And I do think the hydration. I talk about that a lot in my podcast episodes. The hydration is so important, whether you're fasting or not. But especially if you are fasting. So, how about electrolyte supplements to get you through? Do you use anything like that?
So I don't. I do sometimes have like this kind of tablets that you put in the water, but I don't really have them anymore. What I do use is if I go out and it's a hot day and there is like a workout that I need to do in a hot day, I do put some salt into it, like just a normal salt that you buy in the store.
Sure.
And that's pretty much like what I do. It's super simple. You don't need anything, but that's only like really only on a hot day if I have a workout. Otherwise, I don't really do anything.
Yeah, and I've noticed, I like the element, but I barely do it anymore. Only when I'm doing an extended fast. It really did help me in the beginning when I was getting my body, used to fasting. But it's a little pricey, and like I said, I stick to maybe one per week when I do an extended fast. But you're right, just some plain old mineral salt sprinkled into your water. Right. I like to do that as soon as I wake up in the morning now, and that really has been helping, like with headaches and things like that too.
But like, if you like, just because you mentioned the element, right? Like, just to say, like, if there is something like in your routine or something that you do or some small thing that like makes you like makes your heart tick, right? Like, do it. Go ahead. I think when you're fasting or even when you're not, right? If there is something that you can do for your health that you can do every single day that makes you like 10% happier or 1% happier for that sake, right?
It's worth
just
it, right?
Do it. Like, yeah, it's worth it. At the end of the day, like that's pretty much like I want to live my life like a better person, happier person. So why not?
I love it.
Right?
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that for sure. So Jean, what would you say is the longest fast you've ever done?
I like, to be completely honest, I didn't do yet any super prolonged fast.
That's okay.
Probably the longest one was 24 hours. And like that's not a lot. I know that in the community, like people are doing some crazy things, right? And I know that there's but I know that there are like a small portion of the community like doing things.
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Yeah.
Like,
so did you do
like?
Go ahead.
Yeah, for me, like what I want to do is I want a routine that works for me on a daily basis. And like if there is some special event or something like this, sure, I can like join in and do it, right? But most of the time, I just want my routine here and I just want to do it every single day. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. And that's where the consistency comes in too. So very good.
Yeah.
All right, Jean, let's talk about some fun stuff about eating. So what kind of foods do you really enjoy feasting on during your eating hours? Like, what are your favorites, your go-tos?
Yeah, that's a really good question. To be completely honest, like recently I've started eating a little bit less of meat because I've noticed that, like, to be completely honest, it's not so much on the like taste of food, right? It's more towards ethics that I started realizing that maybe this like piece of meat doesn't really make too much sense to eat because at the end of the day, like I can have just as like a good meal with vegetables, but I'm not going fully vegan or fully vegetarian just yet. So don't worry.
Okay. Oh no, it's all good.
Yeah.
Well, and you're in a totally different country. I mean, a whole different podcast could be on the food quality here in America. But what would you say as far as the food industry over in Europe? I mean, do you feel pretty good about it, or?
Mostly, yes. I think
Good.
like if I compare it to the US, I think
Yeah.
it is a bit better, right? It's like in terms of some regulation or things like
Yeah,
that, like
absolutely.
some color additives and things like that. I've noticed that in Europe we pretty much have it like really good,
Yeah.
but you still have like a lot of processed things. You still can buy whatever you want. Like it's not like perfect, right? And I've noticed like a couple of things, which is like, you can start like you can start eating basically the same as in America. You can pick and choose, right? Even in Slovenia, we have issues with, or in Europe, right? We have issues with like ultra processed foods, and they're available just like around the every corner, just as in the US, right? So that's for me like, you have to pick and choose, right? And for some of the staple meals that I really like rice and something with it, right? So a lot of the times is the salmon. I really like the rice
Salmon.
and
Oh,
salmon.
I love
Yeah.
salmon. Love, love, love.
That one is a great one. And then I have like some kind of risotto and things like that. Pasta, a lot of that. Let me think.
And the pasta I know is so much higher quality in Europe. Europe. My 24-year-old daughter, she did a 10-week study abroad in Italy. And she just came back raving about all of that. The rice, the pasta. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
But yeah, I guess we have it good here for
Yes.
those two things. Yeah. and to be completely honest, what I try to do is I try to like have simple meals. I try to make sure that I don't consume too much ultra processed foods. For me, the hardest ones are some kind of like these bars, different snacks that you get, or some kind of donuts. I really love those, but
donuts are your weakness.
That's my weakness. Absolutely.
What kind of donuts do you like, Jean? What are your?
I am a simple person when it comes to donuts. I just want like a sugary one, like the like a simple dough
the powder,
and sugar filled. Yeah, the classic one. I just love it. That's the best one. And like if you have a glass of milk, oh my god, it's perfect.
Oh, you dunk it in there.
Yeah,
it's delicious. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say you've gone all day and you're about to break your fast at noon. What type of food do you have a go-to for what's your routine or food that you break your fast with, Jean? Do you have anything?
Yeah, so pretty much rice and salmon is the perfect combination for me. It's not like I usually eat it once per week. And like it's not the best choice, but it's an okay one because I want to have a little bit of fat, but not too much. I want to have
protein.
Some protein from salmon and then some carbs. Yeah. That's pretty much like how I want to do it. And the thing is, I also really like some vegetables with it. So I have usually a green salad with it, which really helps like with everything, right? So
absolutely,
just a salad and something on the side.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's fast forward to 6 o'clock when you're ready to close your eating window. Do you have like a little dessert, or what do you typically close that eating window with?
So I have this kind of, basically it's a breakfast, but I have it for dinner, right?
Oh, yeah, breakfast for dinner is the best.
yeah, exactly. So I usually have like some kind of yogurt plus some oatmeal, and then I add some blueberries, raspberries, whatever it's available, pretty much like any kind of food. You have like a mango, or you can add banana, or you can add like pretty much any kind of fruit it's available. And then I usually do some kind of like a dark chocolate, but not too close to the evening time because dark chocolate has like caffeine. That's not the best, but like if I don't eat it like at 5 p.m. so if I eat it a little bit earlier, then I do a little bit of dark chocolate, some honey, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's like kind of like a breakfast cereal thingy.
Yeah, that sounds great. I almost always end my eating window with Greek yogurt and pile it with berries and all sorts of
Greek yogurt is amazing.
So it is so good. So good. Very, very good. Okay, so I know you mentioned a little bit about activity. You were talking about biking and things, but so what are your favorite ways to stay active?
Right. So in terms of like like I think like most of the people want to be fit, and most of the people want to like come here to fasting community and
Sure.
just like do like the fasting and try to find as many different things to be healthy in their life, right?
Absolutely.
And I find fasting just one of the levers I can pull, right? So, for example, there is like workout lever, and I can pull that one. There is like a fasting lever, and I can pull that one. There is like a healthy food lever, right? And I can pull that one. But you cannot pull all of the levers at the same time, right? So for me, at least, like there are multiple ways, like multiple levers, like a good sleep, right?
Yes.
Relationships that you cultivate,
Very
right?
good.
And all those things like really help, right? Because at the end of the day, like it's like a day picture, like a picture of the day that like makes what your life really is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of the fasting lever, okay, I pull this one out, and I also want to, like, when I pull the fasting lever down, I also start thinking about food more in terms of like, okay, I fasted today, I did something good for myself. Why should I eat something unhealthy right now? Doesn't make much sense, right?
Right.
And so I pulled the eating healthy lever, right? And then when I do that, I realized, oh my God, like I'm already fasting, I'm already eating healthy. Why shouldn't I do something for my body as well in terms of like physical things, right? So what I do is I do some strength training, but I do that 3 times a week at most.
Very good.
I do have like dumbbells at home. I also have a gym, but especially right now in the summer, I usually just do it at home.
Okay.
And that's the first thing. The second thing is some kind of cardio. And I'm not saying like you need to do cardio. I think even a walk around the block is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I just love doing it, and I do like cycling and running. I'm running like half marathon in a month and a half. So I'm training for that a bit.
Have you done one before?
I did it 1 year ago. So
That's
this one
amazing. So I actually ran the Boston Marathon in 2011. So
nice.
I've been a runner my whole life. I went to college on a running scholarship, and then I kind of took some time and had my babies, and then went back to it. And at that point, I hadn't run more than like 5 miles, and so picked it up and trained, and I ran the Detroit Marathon, and then qualified for Boston and ran it. And
that's amazing.
It's running is such a great sport because it helps not just with your physical body, but the mental part of it is such a great getaway. Right. So where are you doing the half marathon?
Here in Ljubljana, so it's
okay.
It's Ljubljana's marathon. It's not like the most prestigious one, but it's gonna be just fine for me.
Oh, I'm excited for you. When is that?
I think it's on the 19th of October. If I remember correctly.
It's coming up, and you've been traiing for it.
Yeah. I'm like in the horror sessions right now.
Oh yeah, I've been there. I haven't done one, and it's like I said, 2011 was the last marathon I did in Boston, and I keep saying I'm going to do one. I'm turning 50 next week, so that's going to be my 50-year-old goal to do another one. But,
right.
And you said you bike too? Is that right?
Yeah. I started biking probably around a year and a half ago, and I just picked it up, and I noticed, okay, like this thing, you can like Slovenian roads are not the best in quality, but they have amazing views, and they are there are not so many cars on them, and you can really like see some amazing things and experience the whole nature and everything. Yeah. So yeah, that one is also wonderful. But if I go back to running, like what I've noticed, like, because I know that if I would hear something like that on a podcast, I would say to myself, oh, I have to give it a try, right? What I want to say is that start super slow. Mm-hmm. Like so many people, like I have multiple friends who run, and they just go every session and they just run as fast as they can, and it's not as fun if you do it like that, right? Yeah, it's the worst. Like what you should do.
Great advice for gradual.
And go as slow as possible. Like you think you go slow, you can go slower. I think like that's how I train, and I do most of the runs like that, right? The harder sessions usually just once per week, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I was training for the marathon, I was actually training back in '09 is when I started. And I started with, I think his name's Jim Galloway. I'm from Flint, Michigan, if you know about the water. That's where I'm from. But they have this 10-mile Crim road race it's huge. It's the biggest thing in the city every year. And so when I was a kid and growing up, I was always around that. Well, when I decided to train for the marathon, I started with the Galloway method, which is it's a run walk. So I actually was doing a 4-minute run to a 1-minute walk. And I actually qualified for the Boston Marathon doing that. And people are like,
oh, that's amazing.
How can you do that? And it really, really works because you don't realize that 1 minute of rest is saving your legs. Eventually, I kind of broke it down to a 4.5, a 30-second kind of schedule. But you're right. You've got to be gradual, go at it slow. Just don't go balls to the wall. And, like you said, your friends are going out there because I think when people do that, they get turned off to running,
Exactly.
And then, and running is such a great sport that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. You can do it on vacation. It doesn't require any equipment, just some decent shoes, make it a little better. But So when you exercise,
that's pretty much it.
Go ahead. Yeah. When you exercise, do you exercise fasted? Like, have you eaten, or what do you do with that?
Look, I've experimented with both, and I know that like some people have their own opinions on it, but I think like especially like when it comes to weight training, I think you can do it fasted, right? Sure. So most of the time, if I do a weight training session, I do it in the morning during my fast, right? And that doesn't really kind of, I don't see a drop in performance with that. But when I like if I do cardio, especially a longer thing, I don't think it's a great idea to do it fasting. I think you have to have something in your body. You have to eat something before it, or at least like, I've noticed that I have to get something in my body to actually do it well, right? Especially in the harder sessions, I do have to be like fully carved up and ready to do them.
Yeah, I love that, Jean. I think that's such a perfect balance and great advice. And like I said, I find that too. For strength training, my kind of go-to, I like kettlebells. It's kind of my thing. But yeah, I definitely almost always do that in the fasted state, and I don't see any difference. But yeah, if I'm going on a really long run or whatever, and you have to also just gauge how your body feels too, and
exactly,
go with that. So. All right. Well, we are almost ready to wrap things up. So I would like to end with your shiniest gem. What is your very, very best intermittent fasting tip for success that you can leave our listeners with today, Jean?
Oh, that's such a hard one.
I mean, you've given us so many awesome tips throughout the whole episode. I'm so glad that you reached out because this has been so fun. But all right, what is zero in? It doesn't even have to be anything like super fireworks, just.
I know. Okay, I think I have it, right?
All right.
So find a fasting schedule that works for you and do it daily. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
No, I love it.
Because, I to explain a bit on that, I have conversations like with different people who are fasting and who stopped and who like just did a bunch of different things. And I've always noticed that the people who don't come back usually do too much or usually do some really strange fasting regimes. Like I've had a conversation with a guy who said like, oh, just do like 4-day fast and then 1 day eating and then 4-day fasting and 1 day eating and you will drop weight and things like that. And I don't think that that's sustainable. Maybe you can do stuff like that. Yeah, maybe you can do it once, right? But it's not going to be great. And I think at the end of the day, like if you don't feel great after it, you're not going to do it in the long run. And if you're not going to do it in the long run, you're not going to do it at all, right? And I noticed this like, and why did I even start fasting was because I want some kind of restriction in my life. I want something to say, okay, these are some rules. these rules show results. I don't have to be super careful in terms of like, yeah, I just want to look fine. I try to feel fine. I try to do my work. I try to exercise. And if I can do all of that and feel good about it and have like a nice day that I can be proud of, that's pretty much it. And fasting comes here. It's daily. It's nothing special.
Absolutely.
I stick to it, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Very, very good. Well, Jean, thank you so much for chatting with me today and for sharing such awesome information with our listeners. I really had so much fun hanging out with you. I hope you had fun too. And for 26 years old, you really did share a lot of wisdom with everybody, and love that you're just laid back and loving this intermittent fasting lifestyle. And yeah, it's been really fun for me.
Jen, thank you so much. Like, this was really fun. I really had a lot of fun with it, and I also listened to a bunch of your episodes.
Oh, thank you.
and yeah, I was just inspired to reach out. Right, that's when I did it.
I love that. Yeah,
it was super fun. I really enjoyed it as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much for choosing to spend part of your day listening to this episode of the Intermittent Fasting Gems with Jen podcast. If you think these tips could help a friend or a family member, please consider sharing this episode with them. And if you really enjoyed the show, taking a minute or two to leave a positive review would be so appreciated. Tune in for new 15 to 25-minute episodes released on the 10th, 20th, and 30th of each month. Episodes will feature solo shows filled with IF hacks that have worked for me, as well as episodes where I get to chat with fun folks of all ages who've experienced incredible success with intermittent fasting. If you have questions or want more unique intermittent fasting health and weight loss tips, tricks, and recipes, please visit my website and blog at sowhatifwithjen.com. Finally, we'd love to welcome you into our free intermittent fasting Facebook support group, So What If with Jen. Find all of these links in the show notes below. And as always, I hope you spend your day loving without fear and laughing until your cheeks hurt.